We do not want to forget. All right, so welcome day 3, Immerse October Madness series. We are so excited. We're going to talk so much today about all things that lead to client acquisition. My name is Rachel Richards. For those of you who may not know me, I do see new faces all the time. So excited that you've chose to invest in yourself this morning and sharpen your pencil, whether that's mindset. Some of us are doing really good on mindset. We're bought into what it takes to connect with people. Others of us are still working on that and learning what does that mean to really have that abundance mindset and start conversations and connect with people authentically. And that's okay. That's why we're bringing you so much mindset in this first week. And also we're going to get some soft skills, things that may not be obvious, right? We love Elevate. We love all of the trainings that we've been a part of that have taught us how to just get in action. But sometimes we need soft skills that help those actions to have more impact. And so Eric Reyes is going to join us today and give us some soft skills. I want to know, what are you guys grateful for this morning? I woke up this morning and I'm super grateful that I can work from home. I have so much going on today. I have a sick teen. He's been homesick for 3 days now. And so we're going to work on that and figure out what's going on. But it's so good that I can just be here. And I remember the days where sick kids at home would give me anxiety because I might be getting on an airplane or I might be committed to something and I had to get my boss involved. And, you know, that anxiety of like, am I going to be able to take care of my family? And I'm so grateful that I don't battle that anymore and that I have that freedom to do the things that matter most in my day, to handle the curveballs. I don't have to ask my boss if I can love my family, you know? So sometimes we just have to start in that gratitude space. So let's read some of the chat and kind of affirm what I love. To have freedom to be with my friends and still do training. That's so good. Dobby's doing it from anywhere. So grateful for our loving and motivating community. Me too. So as we think about our community, you know, I love the idea of connecting people to this community. I do wake up now and I think, who needs us? Who needs our community? Who needs Monday night? Who needs Saturday morning book challenge before their weekend? Who needs the extended community that we have, right? Or when we get away together, who needs that refreshment? And really, when you start a conversation with someone, you're inviting them into a space where they can be a part of this amazing community. And we do have to ask ourselves, where would we be without this community? So this morning, we've got a treat. Let me let everybody in because I want to make sure I don't leave anyone in the waiting room. All right, so we've got Michelle Bamba, Integrated Presidential Director. She's been coaching about 5 years with Josh Bamba. We know that she's not new to you, but today she's going to share mindsets. She's going to be unplugged. She's going to give you a window into her world and where she started and what she managed. And I think what's so important is when we look at the leaders in the business, we've said this on many trainings, we think, wow, well, they just had an incredible before and after that made them insta famous. And, you know, they had a bigger following or they had this. And because I know the behind the scenes of what it took, I know that's just not true. I know that it took grit. It took a ton of consistency. And there were some good days and there were some hard days and there were some harder days. And so we have to remember that getting there was a journey and that there was a lot involved and that it didn't always go well. So Michelle Bamba, my friend, if you would come on and just fire us up this morning, give us that real talk and color in for us some things that we just may not know if we didn't hear from you.
Thank you, Rachel. Good morning, you guys. I'm so honored to be with you guys. I just love this group and all that you guys really have done over the last few years. Some of you are new coaches. Some of you are seasoned. Some of you have been here for a month. Some of you have been here for years. And so wherever you're at in your journey, I really hope that I can inspire you today and I can just bring you some value. And as I was thinking about really kind of what to talk about today, when it came to client acquisition and kind of the mindset behind it. I thought it'd be really, me and Rachel thought we'd be really good to take you kind of back in the time vault and kind of where we started, because we started coaching 5 years ago, and my goodness, have things changed. And, we go through these seasons of life. And so every season is going to look different. I've gone through many seasons when it comes to client acquisition, but I wanted to take you kind of back from the beginning, even kind of where I was in my life when we first started coaching, and what really inspired us and fueled us with fire to build this business. Because sometimes we come into this business and we think we can't. We have so many we can'ts, right? And that's where I was. I came into this with so many I can'ts. I was a busy mom. I was a busy wife. I worked full time. I had a home to take care of. I had a family to run. I had a lot of reasons of why I just couldn't do this business. But it really came down to, well, what did I want my life to look like? Because whatever this was and whatever was going on was not it. I had that in my being. I knew every part of my body. I knew every part of my heart and my soul that I could not continue in the life that we were living right then and there. From the outside looking in, it looked great, right? We had a home, we had great jobs, we had a family, but we struggled a lot. And many of you know our story, how we, Josh and I work full time, and we were like two ships in the night, kind of sailing past each other. We almost never saw each other. And so just so many different dynamics of what our life looked like knew that, or made me realize that, okay, well, whatever's going on has got to change. And I had to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable and creating changes that would lead to the life that we're living today. And so there were just so many key components that helped us propel and move forward. But ultimately, it came down to our why. And you hear this a lot on trainings, and you hear, well, what's your why? And I'll tell you, is our why is what fueled us moving forward. Because like Rachel said, and I share this a lot on trainings, like, sometimes we see those leaders and we see those who have it all, and we see them at the top of this mountain, but we don't see the climb that it took to get there. The grit, the sacrifices, the saying no a lot to things that we wanted to say yes to, the hard work that it took to get there. And so I knew that the wishful thinking of the life that I wanted to live, it wasn't going to happen just by wishful thinking or by praying or by, hoping for the best. But it was really getting into gear, getting into work, and just going into action. And so, a few things that I really had to stop doing was I had to stop focusing on the time that I did not have. Because, again, lots of excuses of the times that I did not have, right? Again, busy mom, busy wife, busy working, house and a family to run, all the things. But I had to start shifting my focus into, okay, well, there's times that I cannot, but what times can I? And so I really had to start changing the way that I thought, right? Because we all have the same hours in the day. And you hear this a lot, is what, we fit this into the nooks and crannies of our life. And you guys, I fit this into the nooks and crannies of my life in the beginning when I didn't have that time. But I made it work, because some days you're going to be able to give a lot, and there's some days that you cannot give anything. And so there was, times where that's where our life was. And so just really had to shift my focus, because again, I knew what I wanted our life to look like, and whatever the situation was going on then, that wasn't it. And so kind of going into, like, I remember coaching, when we first started coaching, and kind of really aligning ourselves to what we wanted, and, focusing on the times that, we could put into this. I look at, even when it came to client acquisition, I know this is the topic of the week that you guys are talking about, and a lot of us, I think, came back. I think when we first start coaching, I think we're all aligned with the same things. We are so excited about what's happening in our body. We are so excited about what's going on. And we start sharing this with so much passion at the beginning, and we just get excited. We don't even know what we're saying, and we're just sharing it, right? People would ask me, hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, I feel great. I'm down 15 pounds in 3 weeks, right? And so that's how I was sharing. And I was just so excited. But what was happening sometimes, and I think it happens to us all, is as the excitement fizzles, so does our passion to share. And that actually happened a few times. But in the beginning, I remember just being so excited about what was happening. And, because aligned again of what was possible, and we were seeing what was possible with this program and what was possible with the healthy finances that we needed, the excitement came from just sharing to every single person. But one thing that I do remember, and I'll never forget this, is, we may have had a little bit more of an influence on social media, right? I think some of us come in with an influence and some of us have to work a little bit harder to get that. But it's not always the best thing, having that influence. Because sometimes we think, and this is kind of how Josh and I thought, it was, oh, we had so many people coming to us. This is simple. This is easy. Because everyone was coming to us about this program and everything that we were sharing. But I'll never forget, we got on a call with Kim Fisk. And for those who don't know her, she is actually Jamil's mentor. And so she's Karen's direct coach. And she came on and she's like, so tell me a little bit about, your guys' business. And we shared, oh man, it's been so easy. People just come to us. And she looks at us and says, you call that luck? And we were taken back. And we're like, well, yeah, I thought that was lucky. And she says, no. She says, because eventually that dries out. She says, the best thing that you can do is you need to work for it. And at that moment, I realized what she was talking about. Because yes, sometimes we have that influence and people come to us. But what she said actually came true, is people stopped coming to us. People stopped asking. People stopped messaging us through the posts that we were doing. And we realized she was right. We had to start working for it. And so we had to start doing the things, right? We had to start conversating with people. We had to start building relationships. We had to start those conversations that we talk about every single day, because we saw that is where the magic was. It wasn't in us posting. It wasn't in us throwing it on stories and wishful thinking that people will come. The magic came behind the scenes of the conversations that we had through the people that we're liking, or the conversations that we had through people on our list. That's where the magic came. Because there's so many different seasons. I look back in the last 5 years. Obviously, there's a beginning season, right, where we were like, yeah, everyone was coming to us. This was so easy, and that ran dry probably a few months in. And then we had to really step up and start to work. And, I started to see such a different fruit of our labor, I guess you can say, because it was like, I felt like I was doing something that, like, man, me working for it, and maybe it did take time, but it was worth it, because I started to have, those meaningful conversations and started to really get to know people. Because I look back and the people that just came to us and it was so easy and they were credit card throwers, I never built a solid foundation with them. And so what happened? They left. They came as quick, or they left as quick as they came. But the people that actually started to have conversations with, those are the people that actually stuck around. And those are the people that, to be honest, to this day, they still order, because they are in maintenance and they still see the value of our feelings, that we have people that literally order like 4 or 5 years later and just utilize our feelings as they're in between meals. And so that was, I think, what hit me the most, is seeing, maybe we were like 8 months in, I want to say, when we started to see this happen. And then ever since then, we knew the importance of conversations. And that's why we stress the importance on these trainings. And we talk about, why, it's so important to, build relationships with people, because we all know this is a relational business. We know that that is where the majority, not only of our clients are going to come from, because our coaches are going to come from that. When you build those relationships with people, you're building the trust in people. And we all know that, right? We all know that trust is what leads to coaches, is what leads to more clients and referrals. And so that's the foundation that we really wanted to build on. And so, just kind of going through over the years of how different seasons have changed, because there are seasons where, we're always in client acquisition mode, but there are times where it's going to shift. Our focus may not shift to coach acquisition, right? And so you're going to see that there are going to be so many different parts of your business moving forward, but the most important thing is always getting crystal clear with what you want. You all know that. But it's how you're branding yourself. You know, Josh and I, over the last 5 years, we've branded ourselves so well that today I don't have to post a before and after every single day for people to know what we do. We still have people that reach out. We still have people that we're conversating with that maybe I haven't posted in like a week or two, and people are like, oh, you know, I know what you do. But remember, that's not something to do. We always want to keep branding ourselves, but that's something that over the last 5 years we've branded ourselves so well, and that is the goal, is to continuously show people. I know Doug would say 2 weeks ago when he was on our call, and he says, hey, if I were to go on your social media, can you tell me just by looking what it is that you do? Some of us probably not. Some of us may post once a week. Maybe we post when we feel like it. Maybe we post here and there. And if I were to go on your page, there's nothing that tells me that you can help me with my weight or help me get healthy. There's nothing on there. And so that's where we really want to start focusing on, is branding yourself really well over the next, honestly, for the next, your career of coaching. You know, it's not something that's ever going to go away. We always want to continuously brand ourselves. And so just know that I always share, or I always like share this with our coaches too, is like, we work, a lot of us work full time. I mean, many of us probably on here, we work full time. But I will tell you that that is just an excuse if you're saying that you don't have time because you work full time, because we did that. And so Josh and I don't believe that, because we're like, we worked full time, but we fit this into the nooks and crannies of our life. Everyone, again, has the same hours in the day. It's what you do with your day that matters. So Josh would actually do calls literally to work from work. He took the train. For those who don't know, he had this crazy commute of train, bus, automobile, all the things. And you know, he would fit these health assessments, you know, to and from work, client check-ins. I would do the same during nap time. For those that have young kids, I did during nap time. You know, those are my times to work. I did it while, you know, there was times where, I'll be honest, like, you know, YouTube Kids watched my kid during some seasons, you know, and that's okay because of the life that I was trying to build for him. And so just know moving forward that literally you guys can have it all. You really can. Sometimes we are so limited to the belief that we cannot, that we stop ourselves from doing the things that will propel us to move forward, that we can. You know, communicate with your family. That's something that we're so big on, is communication, because there's going to be days where you cannot. There are going to be days, because I know, I mean, I'm speaking from the moms, dads, you too, but we're all superheroes, right? We think we can do it all. And I'll tell you, we are superheroes, but we can't do it all. So sometimes we have to delegate the things to help us achieve the goals that we want to achieve. And so there was days where Josh and I had to have that communication where I'm like, hey, you know what? I can't do this, but can you do this? Or can you take over this, right? We had to delegate our shopping to Instacart. We had, you know, we got the buy-in from our family, you know, for babysitting when times where we wanted to go into creation mode. Because you guys, you can create the life. The life doesn't just happen for you. You must move forward and actually create it. And I want to really also end on this, you guys, because I know, gosh, time goes by so fast when we're talking. But I did want to share with you guys, you know, I wish one thing that we had was the tool Elevate. Because that tool, what I have seen so far, has been so magical in what it's helping coaches create. You know, since it's been created, just to kind of give you guys an example, because we've worked with a few coaches who've used it religiously, and 3 coaches in the last month were an executive director who actually said it's because of that group, because they followed it to a T. You know, another coach brought on 20 clients in 3.5 weeks, and he is religiously using that. So just to kind of give you guys a background of why this group, because I know you guys are using it as your daily action steps. But I will tell you kind of the background of this group, of why it was created, because we know in this business, you know, we follow the lead of those that come before us, and that we see success, and success leaves clues. And so this was a group that actually was created through another organization that has tested it, has tried it, they have it, and they build so many leaders through it. And so, you know, we really studied it. And, you know, obviously you guys know a lot of work went into it, but if you were to follow this group for 30 days, what you are doing, and the main purpose of this, is we're going to bring some influence into your social media, because that is where it begins. So building this platform, you know, no matter where you are in your business, building this platform, utilizing Elevate is going to bring so much influence into your world, but also it's going to change those algorithms. It's going to help you connect with those people. It's going to help you people see what it is that you do, because we share this a lot on Facebook trainings. You all have probably an incredible amount of friends, but you only have about 5% of those friends that actually see what you're doing. And so the goal of this is to really start to change so that more like 10 to 20% of your friends on your list start to see what you do. So my encouragement to you is go all in with these action steps. It's 30 days of action. And as you've seen, it's only posting once a day. We can all do that. It's only adding 5 friends a day, 5 conversations a day. We can all do that. And it's teaching you everything that you need moving forward, so that when you start to bring on coaches, you're going to plug your new coaches into that group, and it's going to give them all the action steps and the skill sets that they need to build influence. Because when you start to build influence into your life, that's when you're going to start to see your business start to really expand and to grow. So I really encourage you guys to utilize that. I really encourage you guys to really see where you're at in your current day to day and know that you can have it all. The only people that stops that is us within ourselves. So learn to, really fit these into the nooks and crannies, but structure your day differently to where it can really help you, not pull you back. So I think I went over in time, but
All right, it was great stuff, guys. Put just one thing in the chat that you're going to hold in your week that Michelle has shared with you, refreshed, maybe reminded. A lot of times we always say, trainings, they are repetitious. Absolutely, they're repetitious. And there's new concepts, and then there's things, like my reminder from her today was, things might seem hard, but compared to what? Like, compared to what? If I say, oh, this business can be hard to get it isn't, by the way, but that's the lie I told myself for a minute. Compared to what? All of the things I had to do in corporate, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, driving to an airport, missing my flight, getting held over on weekends, missing important dates with my kids, crying in hotel rooms because I was homesick. Compared to what is it hard? So maybe go back in your mind and think, what hard things do I already know how to do? And how can I apply that to my dreams now, which is what her and Josh decided to do. At the end of the day, what I got is she took all the hard of their life, and so did Josh. And they said, let's apply all this nuclear energy and put it on what she said. What did I want my life to look like? And then designed a life that made way more sense for them. So we get to do that too if we'll just play follow the leader. And I love the reminder about the algorithms. I know it's simple, but like, we could be over there posting and like, man, I'm posting, nothing's happening, right? How many of you have felt that way? I'm posting and nothing is happening. Boy, she just told you, get in Elevate and work it, because it's going to change the algorithms. And that could be the problem. Your people may not be seeing your stuff. How frustrating would that be, right? That's working hard, not smart. So we're going to change the game through Elevate if we'll only give it an honest, earnest chance. So thank you, Michelle, so much. That was really good. Very, very helpful. Thanks for getting up, very pregnant and coming on with us. Now we are going to get some skill sets and some wisdom from Eric Reyes. Eric and Kristen Reyes have an incredible organization. They are global directors. They have fought to become this version of themselves, and they are helping a ton of people through that ripple effect, but it has not been easy. I have the privilege of mentoring them, and they have really had to unbecome and become, and I am so humbled that they are a part of our team. We're so blessed. And so, Eric, would you give us some wisdom today on how you see client support, and then we can go try it on and see if it fits, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning, guys. Rachel, thank you for always trusting Kristen and myself just to simply get on here and share with you. So I want you guys to grab your coffee, grab your water, grab a fueling, whatever it takes to get you going, whatever it takes to get you to jump around, be loud, have a good time. Love it, Rachel. That's what we're here for, guys, is just come here with the burst of energy. It's 6:26 here in Southern California. I've been up since 5 o'clock, tossing and turning because I'm like, okay, what can I share with these 41 beautiful souls who are on here? That's what this is all about, guys. Could you imagine if I came on this? Good morning, guys. Yeah, it's 6:26. Welcome. Thank you for being here. You see the difference there on the energy, the inspiration, and that's what this is all about, coming in a good client acquisition. Guys, you just had your first lesson. Your first lesson on client acquisition. You need to be energetic, motivated, inspiring. That's what it's all about. Imagine, like I said, if you started talking to a client and it's like, hey, yeah, this is what I do, blah, 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 they're going to go away. If I did that this morning, 41 people would turn to 35, would turn to 30, would turn to 25. And next thing you know, I'd be talking to a blank screen. What do you think happens with our business when we're not inspiring on social media, guys? What do you think happens with our business? It goes away. And then we get to, like, Michelle just said, we feel like we're posting and nothing's happening because no one's watching, because no one's inspiring. So I want you to think about that a little bit. But it starts from the time you share your story. That's when client acquisition starts. You've heard the term first impressions, right? Same concept here. Your story has to come from your heart. It has to come from your heart. You will constantly hear, if your version of your story doesn't make you cry, it's not a story, it's not a good one. Yes and no. Happy tears are good too, guys. It always doesn't have to be, oh my God, I'm off my blood pressure. It doesn't always have to be that. It has to be, oh my God, I brought our daughter home from Colorado. Oh my gosh, I paid for my kids' school that I've always wanted them to go to because I didn't have an education. That's a story from the heart. I resonate from those stories. I resonate from the story where the dog's barking in the background, because that's real life, people. That's life. I don't resonate from the story with perfect lighting and the suit and tie and reading off a script. I don't want to hear that. But unfortunately, some of us think that's what it needs to be, and it doesn't. We're making it more difficult than what it really is. What clients are looking for from you hope dealers is something that's real, that they can resonate with, right? Such as, oh my gosh, I feel better. Not the perfect lighting or the suit and tie type of concept here, okay? That's where most of us fall into that little trap, okay? I want you guys to think about this for a minute. Have you ever started your story and put pen to paper, right? That's how we all start this, right? We write down our story, what we're going to do, what we're going to talk about, what Optivia has done, prior to getting on, while we're on, and how we pay it forward. But have we got halfway through and realized that's not me? Put it in the chat if that's ever happened to you. Nobody. Everybody wrote the perfect story. Chris, did I freeze?
No, I see
You're
stuff.
frozen on my. Oh,
Did I freeze,
you're frozen
guys?
on my end.
Am I frozen?
You're good now.
Oh, now you're good. Now
Yeah.
you're good.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. Our internet's been going crazy. I see it now. Okay. I asked if everybody has wrote down on paper, right? And then all of a sudden, realizing it's not you. So that is a fact. It happened to me. But that's where we get caught up is, we kind of draft this perfect story, but it's not us. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. I want you guys to be able to tell your story, right, without having to put it on paper. Of course, we're going to put it on paper first, okay? But then we're going to kind of just go through it, and it's always going to change, okay? Your story has to inspire. Inspire. If you're not inspiring anybody, there's really no point in putting out that story. Think about that a little bit. Are you inspiring 50 to 60 people a day? I just heard that on a training. Are you inspiring 50 to 60 people per day? Are you? If not, it's okay. Something we need to work on. That's why we're here. Remember, guys, we don't have to be here. We have the opportunity to be here today. That's what I'm talking about. We don't have to be here. You have the ability and opportunity. You've earned it to be here today. Think about it that way. So be inspiring. Have energy. Be fun. They need to see that energy. That's what they're resonating with. Purpose. Have purpose in your story, guys. Make it purposeful. Find something to connect with someone, relate to them, add value. People come to us looking for value, right? They're coming to us, hope dealers, looking for something to help them get to where they want to go. We were on that path, whether we're on that path still. Remember that these key things are, extremely important. And then the most important thing is we got to put it all into action. We come up with this great story, but then we got to put it into action. And here's the way I think about it. I'm relentless. I'm relentless in my pursuit to my why I decided to help others. Are you relentless? Think about that. What does relentless mean to you? If you guys can drop something in the chat real quick. We'll try that again and hopefully I won't freeze. What does relentless mean to you? There we go. Never give up, unstoppable, not quitting, all in, not giving up, determined. I love that. Nonstop. You're right. The definition, oppressively constant and consistent. Relentless. Your relentless pursuit to your why. You decided to wake up this morning and be here on this training. Your relentless pursuit to why you decided to guide others to experience what we're experiencing. But there's also the other hand of that, right? The other side of that, fear. Fear stops all of us. Oh my gosh, what are people going to think about me? I can tell you this, my friends, they're not thinking about us that much. We think they are. We want them to think about us that much, but they are not. I promise you. Sandy, they're not, my friend. Tammy, my friend, they're not. Anthony, love your story. They're not. Okay. They're not thinking about us that much. Trust me. Okay. Fear, the unpleasant, uncomfortable feeling, real or imagined. That's fear, guys. Real or imagined. We are imagining that people are thinking about this. Don't let fear stop you. You hear this all the time, guys. Kick fear in the face. And I want you to think about this now. Which one are you? Let's see it in the chat. Relentless or fearful? Which one are you? It's okay. Relentless. I love that. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Relentless. Sometimes both. That's okay. I love it. Sometimes both. That's honest. That's from the heart, guys. Both. I love that. Fearful. Adriana, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be fearful. Use that fear to drive you to be relentless. Use that fear to drive you to be relentless. Okay. Again, you're here, guys. That's the start. That's the first step, is you are here today. You're getting past that fear. Okay. So once we find out, like I said, we got to take that action. Okay. We got to live out loud. Live out loud on social media. Okay. What do I mean by that? You're posting 3 by 3 by 3, 1 by 1 by 1, 2 by 2 by 2, whatever you need to get to that ultimate why of why you started doing this. Does that make sense to everybody? It's real simple. We overcomplicate the simplicity of what our mentors have set up for us. You've heard it 1,000 times. Follow the leader. We are taught from young kids, follow the person in front of you. Follow the person in front of them. You heard the awesome Michelle Bamba, right? You heard her earlier. Success leaves clues. That's what we're trying to get you guys. Success simply leaves clues, okay? So live out loud on social media. Talk to anyone who's willing to listen. In the grocery store line, picking up your kids from school. Trust me, I have people on our team who talk to everybody in the grocery store line and set up health assessments. Trust me, they're successful. They're relentless. They're relentless in the pursuit to their why. Talk to everybody who's going to listen, right? Set up the mentor calls, right? With your clients, with your coach and your clients, okay? When we set up those calls, guys, those 14-day calls are the most important part of client acquisition. Did you guys realize that? They're important. Why? Because we constantly refer our friends and family to our favorite real estate agent, our favorite restaurant, because we get good customer service, right? something that we give a monetary value to them for. Why not do the same here? If we give our client a good, supportive, right, experience, right, they're going to be mentally and morally bound to refer their friends and family to you. If we're not getting 2 to 3 referrals from our current client base right now, we need to work on that. And that's okay if you're not. It's really okay. But something to work on, guys. 2 to 3 per client. Think about that for a minute. Really think about what that can do for you and your family. If we just follow the steps, get them on their mentor calls, stop making it about us, because I was like that too. I made it all about me. I'm going to be full transparency here. Erica Unplugged. Thank you, Rachel, for letting me do this. Okay. We don't want the Richards in our business when we first started. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Because I was not doing the steps and I knew I was going to get caught. Full transparency here. We were scared. We were scared of what our mentors were going to tell us. We were embarrassed. We felt like we were frauds. Okay. Only until they kind of gave us some tough love and said, hey guys, this is what's got to happen. And when you do, watch out. And we're so grateful that they did. We really are, because as a result of that, right, we're able to do the things we do now. And that's what Michelle was talking about. So those mentor calls, okay, are so, so important, guys. That's where the magic happens. And that's where, I mean, think about it. We are a referral-based business. We don't have this big advertisement going on. We don't. Okay, we have social media. We have our word of mouth. We have our story. Okay, we have referrals. There's nothing wrong with asking for referrals, okay? Which leads me into the ever so glorious health assessment. Do you guys know that when you're doing your health assessment, right, on the bottom left-hand corner, I'll read it to you. Is there anyone in your life who would like to get healthy with you? How many of us skip that part? Put it in the chat. How many of you are afraid to say, oh my gosh? How many? It's okay. There you go. Some skipped it for 2 years. Some are doing it. Okay. I used to. I love it. Dobby, beautiful. It's okay. We are so fearful of asking that simple question. Hey, you know what? Who do you want to bring along with you? Right? Right there, guys. Dr. Anderson set it up for us to ask for referrals. That's what we're doing. We're simply asking for referrals. And we all know here that when you do it with a significant other, friend, family, loved one, neighbor, your dog, just kidding, okay, we have an 85% chance of keeping our weight off. And that's what this is all about, right? So think about that for a little bit. Think about how successful your client would be if they brought their friend with them, if they brought their loved one with them. That's why we do it, guys. Okay. So be important, make it important. Okay. If it's not, it's okay if you're not. That's why we do these calls. This is a no judgment zone to afford you the opportunity to hear something that's working for me. I don't have all the answers. Okay. There's 40 different people in here. There's 40 different businesses. There's 40 different, ways of doing business. But it's all the same when you really think about it. Okay, we're just going to fine tune it what works for us and our demographics or the people that we actually have. So one last thing, and then I'll wrap it up with this, guys. I want you to understand that the words that we use sometimes, okay, can kind of make things a little weird. So I want you to change things a little bit if you want to, okay? We acquire clients. We don't get clients. You hear the difference? I got to get clients. When we hear the word get this, you've probably heard it a lot of times from our parents as a kid. Get out of here, right? Get started. Think about that. Sound a little negative? If we're telling someone to get out of here, right? Think about it. Get real. Thank you. Right? Think about it, guys. Get going. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Change it a little bit. If we say get out of here, go away, change it to get going. That means we're stagnant a little bit. Let's acquire clients. Let's not get clients. And that's going to drip into when you start bringing your mentors in and doing the 14 days, right? Because what happens? We show up, your mentors show up and like, oh, this is the guy that's going to try and get me. This is the closer. And that's what we're just trying to avoid. We're trying to make this so much easier for you guys. So I hope that helps. It helps me. I think I kind of went okay on time or short. I don't pay attention to the clock. I'm sorry, Rachel.
No,
But
it's beautiful,
I
beautiful
love doing it.
stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Who's grateful for the team IQ this morning? And that, you know, each person on this team, like I say, they have a gift, they have a puzzle piece, they have a perspective, they have a failure, they have a success. And so what I think is so important to realize is that, guys, the 5-in-1, why do we do so much work at 6 a.m. on mindset, right? Why do we do that? Because it's only the mindsets that get in the way of the actions. The actions are simple. It's just our mindset. So when we don't have a why that is bigger than our fear, we do not do the action steps of elevate. Like they said the other night, if your why is not bigger than your fork, it isn't going to work. And so what we heard from Michelle was like, what life are you designing? Once you attach to that, like, I know what the Reyes's are fighting for right now. I know exactly what it is. And I know every time I get on a call with them, I know exactly what we're contending for. I'm not confused. I know what they're fighting for, and so do they. And so the actions make perfect sense for them. But if you don't have that, then getting on trainings is just checking a box. Doing Elevate will feel like busy work because it will not be attached to your dreams. Okay. So get really clear this morning on what it is that you want. Okay. So remember our business. Who's starting to remember this like by, you know, kind of automatic? We tell our story. So if we think about client acquisition, we tell our story, our real story. We update people along the way because our story is changing all the time. Like I can look at Brian Russell. I know his story when he started. I know his story now. It is for sure changed. Okay. So we must update people along the way. We boldly invite other people to come with us consistently and boldly, not apprehensively or intimidated in that way, right? Not a fearful invitation, but a bold invitation to come with us. Hey, I'm on a healing journey. Do you want to come? I'm healing. Do you want to come? Boldly. Then we support them in their journey. We don't own their journey. We support them in their journey. And support means using the Habits of Health transformation system, not our intellect, not our big, kind heart. Those things are great, but they don't change lives, okay? Because we've had a big, kind heart for a long time, and it wasn't changing the future of this country. And lastly, we protect their path. And that means we invite them into coaching. Referrals, oh my gosh, Eric, yes. I did not ask that question for 2 years. I sat on my hands. Now, on every single health assessment, I say, who needs to do this with you? And then I take a big drink of my water so I don't talk for them. And then they always give me a name. I never skip that. I used to, but I grew past that. Okay, so this program helps us to find our voices, yes or no? Are you guys starting to find your voice? That's what's beautiful. That's what we are getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday to do. We're finding our voices together. And now we're going to go out and use them today. So let's talk about our action items. And they are a little different today. Before we do that, I'm going to take 1 extra minute to it. So we'll get off a little bit later today. Bear with me. This will be worth it. When you think of your list of people, go to your stories. Who's watching you? The stories show you who's watching you on Instagram and Facebook. They actually give names. If you do polls, you can really see who's watching you because they took the time to do a poll and you can see their responses. So who's watching you? Who's consistently liking your post, right? Especially your health related post where you're like, oh my gosh, this person has like the last 5 of my health related posts. Where are they on your list? When you think about your list, I pulled out this today. This is an artifact. This is my March Madness 2018 list, right? So we work off of lists. That doesn't make us cheesy or salesy. That makes us intentional. This list needs to be divided into 3 categories: an A list, a B list, and a C list. Your A list, guys, when I was little, my mom loved to ask me to go borrow things from our neighbors. So embarrassing. One time my mom made me borrow a vacuum from a neighbor. Like I wanted to die, okay? But I went to who? I went to the neighbors that we were close with. Do you think I went to the neighbor that we had never talked to and talked to them the same way about borrowing a vacuum that I did to the one that would be there for us and be out front? No. So the way we talk to people, when we say start conversations, you'll start them differently with someone on your A list. A list criteria, they're a friend. They're for you. They are not going to be weirded out when you ask them for help in growing your health coaching business. You can go that direct with an A-lister. A B list is like, man, this is a good friend, but we haven't talked in 2 years. But this is a good friend, but we haven't talked in 2 years. We lost connection, but good friend in here. C is like, I don't know this person. I just added them as a friend on Facebook. I'm adding 5 friends a day, 10 friends a day. I don't know them, but they are watching me. And so one of the troubles that you're going to have in starting conversations is talking to an A-lister or a C-lister like you would an A-lister, and that's going to feel weird. Okay. So we want to start helping you. Later this week, we're going to teach you how to start these conversations in a way that's really organic and feels natural, because you're not talking to them all the same. Does that make sense? Like that those lists need to be categorized. So now let me share my screen and we're going to get out of here. We're going to go through the action steps for today. All right. So first thing, please make sure that your personal volume order is in and under your coach. Guys, I know you remember when we did your Coach Explore, we said we are not a wholesale club, okay? What makes us different, what makes us unique is we have a ton of integrity in our business model. The other thing is, why do we do it at the beginning of the month? Because our warehouse says, please get the coach orders out first. Because at month end, do you think they want your order in with all the fulfillment that they're trying to get? It slows things down, and your clients are going to wait for their food because we're putting in all of our orders. It is an unnecessary taxation. So part of our abundance mindset is our PV order, what we're eating, goes under our coach. We do not place orders under ourselves and then cut our coach out. That is a lack of integrity. Please fix this today if it hasn't been fixed. Elevate, day 3 is where we're at. Okay, so when you're done, drop it in your thread. This is good accountability. However, we just want to love on you and we want to know what day you're on. And guys, if you get behind, it's okay. Just pick it up where you are and just keep it moving. And please have fun with these actions. Read 5 to 10 minutes a day in element 3. That way we're ready for our life book, pacing with our community nourished, keeping ourselves relevant as clients. And then I have a superset action. Look at your A list, your B list, and your C list. And I've got a power play message. This is going to be dropped in the Immerse page as soon as I end this go live. And this is what I'm going to ask you to consider. Okay. So here's the lingo. Let me get out of here. You guys take a screenshot of that real quick. I will put it in Immerse, but let me tell you what it's going to say. All right, so I'm going to talk to Sherry. Sherry's an A-lister for me, okay? So I'm going to say to her in a text or a message on Messenger, I'm going to say, hey, Sherry, I'm starting a small accountability group to help others choose health and get started in forming some habits that will serve them before the holidays. This group is going to be so uplifting. We're going to include mindset, nutrition, supplements, community, and coaching. It is my most affordable plan So it'll be cost neutral for people. I'm going to do prizes and fun stuff every week. I see that you've been loving my health related posts. And so I thought I would start with my supporters and getting the word out. Thank you in advance for helping me to build a healthy community. As we know, it's more important now than ever. Who's down to start sending those messages of, now, if you only get one person, are you still doing an accountability group? Yes. But this person might say to you something like this: wow, well, I would like to be a part of that group. What do I got to do? You know what? That's beautiful. Let's do a health assessment. Okay. So we're going to start a boatload of conversations off of this today and the rest of the week. Guys, we're going to start running some holiday strategies and awakening the people so that we do not have the reality as a team of saying, gosh, December was terrible. No, it's not going to be for this team, because we're going to get busy in October, right? And we're not going to report the news in December. So it's exciting. We have a lot to offer. I'll put this in there. So you're like, what did she say? It's going in Immerse right now. Okay, I will type it up. Thank you for going over with us today. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Michelle Bamba. And thank all of you for your interactions and getting on in these mornings. I think you're going to love the outcome at the end of this month. Take care, everyone.